Well, that Angela's got her talk show going on right now with that Jerry Kane, and that's probably taken up probably a lot of people listening to that stuff. They all think that there's a remedy in that. I just got through reading, besides that YouTube I post on there, and some gal named Mary Croft. I was reading her stuff. She's a sharp cookie. She says the exact same thing you do. You better get over it, quit fussing and fighting and carrying on with these people, because it ain't going to work. And you better just get back on the love side of things and start taking care of business, because they're going to eat you. That's all they're going to do. And she's on it. And this YouTube article, or this YouTube right here, is just fascinating. It's talking about all these crop circles and what the meaning of them are. And it's starting to add a lot of things up for me. A lot of things.
You say crop circles?
Yeah, it's. She gives an explanation on these crop circles. Makes more sense than anything I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, what does she say there?
She says that they're a warning. They're not a warning sign, but they're a help. It's a help warning. Someone's here to help us. And what they've done is they've built a magnetic shield around all the earth to protect us from the solar flares that are getting ready to be unleashed against the earth. And they have built a magnetic chamber around the earth to actually shield off so that it doesn't destroy the earth. And it makes so much sense to me. If you go look at yesterday's Soho images, the sun just spit out a solar flare that is beyond your comprehension. It's bigger than the solar flare that the sun just spit out. It's a lot bigger than the earth.
Yeah.
And if that thing was to hit us, it would annihilate all of us.
And no, it wouldn't. Hey, you hear me, Jeff?
Well, yeah.
It wouldn't annihilate all of us. It just rearranged the molecules.
Yeah, but
the thing of it is, all this is well and good. Not to rain on your parade, I'm probably going to do it. But the point of the matter is, when you got your spirit correct, it ain't mattering what's happening.
That's exactly what her point is.
Oh, okay.
Is that if your spirit is correct, and you'll learn to accept these people for what they're here for, and that is to help. They're not here to hinder. They're out there, and you're seeing a lot of UFOs because, yes, we're real, but we're here to help you. Accept the help. And on top of that, she also points, like I said, in this other lady I was listening to, Mary Croft, she just like talking to you. She said, don't get into fussing and fighting with these people. Another thing that's hit me lately, all these people hollering and screaming and yelling about all of these chemtrails in the sky. Now, I know they're real. I see them and whatever.
Yep.
But I don't think that these things are being put there to kill off a bunch of us. I think they're being put there in order to shield off some of this radiation that's coming from these solar flares. I think they're helping us. They're not here. They're hurting us. I don't believe that.
They could be, maybe not. The point of it is, it's where's your spirit at? You see, I mean, if your spirit's correct, it don't matter what they do. They can't touch you. You know. Well,
if you would realize that they're there to help us instead of hurt us, it would help you a lot with getting your spirit right.
Maybe
get off the defensive, just like you always say, Batman. These people in the courts, they're there to help you, not to hurt you.
No.
So get off your high horse and get off your defense, and realize that these people can be your biggest advocate, or they could be your biggest help in the whole world if you'll quit fussing and fighting with them.
Hey, you got 7 minutes?
Sure.
Listen to the other song I played after I played that song. You want to hear the next one? Hold
Sure.
on, I'm going to play it. You don't mind, do you, Tim? I don't know if Tim's still on there or not. But,
Yeah,
well, I'll play it. All right, listen to this song. It's starting. There it goes. I played this song next. What a I know I ain't right in the head, but then again, hey, I'm in good company. Matter of opinion, I guess. Here it comes. It's coming. It's kind of slow starting, and it grows. And you've heard it before, I bet. If you haven't, well, you're going to hear it now.
I'm all ears.
What about the rest of you?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Give it a minute. It's coming. A little bit of nature there, you know. You hear it?
Yeah.
You don't hear it?
No.
Shit, I'm on the phone. That's why. Darn it. It can't play through the phone like it. Darn it.
Oh, that's funny. Guess you could always lay your phone down next to your speaker it's coming from if you wanted to.
That help?
You can do it, I guess. I don't know how to do it.
You hear it now?
Yeah. Can't hear very good.
Heck with it.
Yep. That don't work very good.
It worked. See, it worked. Maybe I should have used. Oh, I'm supposed to stop. Maybe I should have used Skype. Went through Skype. I used the XL Lite thing there. Tim and I were talking about before. And for some reason,
where it says talkshoe phone down there.
Yeah, maybe I ought to go to that. No, I'll use XL Lite. It's another program. It's good for calling in, but if you're hosting a call, I don't think it's working right. Maybe if I did it the other way. Good experimental call anyway. But the group's Clad 2 anyway. Calling occupants. You ever heard of that?
Calling occupant.
Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. It's a good tune.
Yeah, huh?
They named it. The group was named after the robot, I believe, in the day the Earth stood still.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, Clad 2. They got some good music, I think, anyway.
Trying to get a message through to my buddy that they put in jail, trying to get a message through to him on how to take care of himself when he gets back into court on Friday. And
let him handle the name, man. I'm telling you, if he can do that.
That's the main thing we're trying to get through with him. Don't step into the office of the person, whatever you do.
I think he'll be all right if he got any idea what's going on.
Yeah, he does, but it's that fear that gets you.
Oh, tell me about it.
Fear that gets you. Especially when you're a 68-year-old guy and they're throwing 70 years at you. All of a sudden you want to argue because you're scared to death.
Nothing to argue about. Ain't my business, man. That's why they did it. They played them. The feds, from what I gather, the feds wouldn't deal with it. Yeah, they know.
Well, he had an attorney, and he fired the attorney in open court. He fired him.
Yep.
And they handed it, and the attorney turned around and handed him his whole discovery packet and his whole file. Yeah. They arrest him, put him, and what they did was revoked his bond for absolutely no reason. Revoked his bond and put him back in jail and put him under $100,000 bond.
Surety now.
Yeah. And so they put him back in jail, and they took his discovery and all of the information that attorney had given him, and they went through it all and then handed it back to him.
Yeah.
But they went through the whole file. But I think they've done that in order to get him to try to argue.
Well, the thing of it is, when they handed it back to him, he should have slid it back to them. What's this got to do with me?
Yeah, you're right.
It's that simple, man. The slider. You watched Menard, didn't you? Robert Menard?
Yeah.
One of the things he points out, they give you the slider. There's the offer. You accepted it. Now what are you going to do with it, see?
Yep.
Judges can't see his paperwork. They turn it over and they look at the blank sides of it. Say nothing here concerns this case. I mean, you know. And they're right. These guys are masters, man. That's why you come as a little child. Ask them the questions, man. What can I do to help you?
Yep.
It's so simple. It's pathetic. You know, I tell people all the time. And they will honor you. Stay in honor. That's what it's all about. Honor.
You sound like Jeff that was on the Sam call, are you?
I am, sir.
Have you heard anything at all from Sam about Charlie Miller?
No, I haven't heard about Charlie Miller, but I talked with Sam 20 minutes ago on the phone. And I'm probably going to go meet up with him tomorrow. But I have not heard anything concerning Charlie Miller. I'm real careful about what I talk about on the phone anymore.
Yeah.
Since I've had a lot of evidence lately that they're on our phone conversation so heavily.
That's
so
good.
I'm sure you heard the Sam Kennedy call this past Sunday, or you probably heard about it.
I did. I was on the call, yeah.
So he kind of put it all out there, aired everything. I was just wondering if Sam and Charlie had any kind of rebuttal to it, or from not in the public, but I mean privately, you know.
Well, all I can tell you is this, that there's meetings with the elders going on right now concerning that very thing as we speak.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told.
All the elders are doing is creating another way for people to go into controversy, man.
That's exactly right. I agree with that now. I can see that now.
If people don't know who they are, know what's going on, and that's what I try to tell these people when I got on these calls with people. If they don't know the basics, man, they don't need to hear this other bullshit because they're only going to get their ass in a sling. I mean, you know?
Well, the problem is right now that if you release these funds that they have their hands on, if you released them all to the people right now, the people would probably wouldn't be able to handle it. They'd probably just go nuts with it, you know?
Here's how simple it is releasing the funds. It's all freaking imaginary. The only reason people are getting moved out of their homes is because they abandoned them. If people just wake up and say, hey, I have a notice of claim here, I'm using this property, where's the superior claim? The rest of it, all the government is doing is an illusion to keep these freaking greedy bastards in line. I mean, people are greedy, man. That's the problem with the people in this country. They ain't happy with one condo. They got to have 10, you know? Yeah. And then, meanwhile, there's people, their brothers starving in the street, but they don't give a flip, now do they?
Yeah, you've just described the elite bankers of the world.
No, the elite bankers of the world are the people of the United States, and it's coming down on them, man.
Those are the ones that steal all the people's credit, and they never have enough.
Yeah, that's
they want to keep everything secret. They don't want to disclose anything to anybody.
You're one of the people of the United States there, Tim?
No, I'm not. I don't belong to no club.
I disclose everything, man. My life's an open book. Sure, I fucked my neighbor's daughter. So what? You know? I don't care. She consented, I consented. What's the problem? I mean, these people in this country, man, they want to take, and that's the problem.
Yeah, you're talking about the people in the courts, man. They want to take.
No, the people in the courts there are trying to keep a lid on it. They're sick of wiping our sorry asses and having to give us orange pajamas.
Well, they're not honoring the bankruptcy. I mean, if someone submits an acceptance into the court and they don't accept it, and then that person institutes a lien, and then those judges all of a sudden retire, well, what does that show? It shows them judges are corrupt. I mean, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's what they have, absolute power, and they're absolutely corrupted.
Yeah,
and that's why it ain't because it's coming from the people, man. It's because they have lost the ability to judge fairly.
Oh, maybe they got sick of dealing with these whiny-ass assholes out here blaming everybody but themselves for their problems. I'd be over.
I don't know about that, man. No, they had a plan to control everybody's life and how they think, what they do, what they can't do. Put chips in you.
Yeah.
They had a plan. They had a plan for that, but that plan ain't going to happen.
It's going to happen because, you know something? the majority of people are that stupid. They're going to get in line and can hardly wait till they get theirs. That's the problem with these people.
You're assuming that everything's going to stay the same. You don't know what's going to happen next week.
No, true, but I'll tell you, these people in this country lead me to believe that, yeah, they're going to welcome the chip, and they're going to get in line to get it.
Well, the stupid ones might. The same ones that'll take a vaccination, yeah, those people that take vaccine, yeah, they'll line up, take their poison.
Problem is, nobody wants to take the blame for them, for what their problem is. They want to blame everybody else, Tim. And, you know, I hate to say it, but you do the same thing. Quit blaming people for your situation. What are you going to do about it? Go find the agent and tell them, hey, man, I understand. Watch the movie Network, man. Watch that again. It tells you right in that movie what's coming. And either you're going to get on board or you're not. I watched that today, man. It was a trip.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it almost 10 years ago.
He took the prophet into the chambers, the high chambers, and that guy explained to him exactly what's going to happen. And, you know, I don't doubt it in the least. Either you're going to be part of the world or you're not. And the ones that got to hide things and think they got privacy, well, guess what? I think they're in for a rude awakening. You got rights. You want liberty. You guys crack me up.
Well, there's probably a lot of positive things happening that we don't watch and look out for, because people have a tendency to want to see the negative instead of the positive.
Oh,
yeah.
And
I see a lot of positive things coming down the road. I just posted one of them on the chat there. I see a lot of positive things.
We got to lose the negative, man. I mean, I try not to focus on it at all. Give it a minute. If that, try not to give it anything.
It's all good. It's all good. They're teaching us the difference between day and night. And the problem is, are you going to thank them for it, or are you going to go, oh, these judges are assholes. These lawyers don't know what they're doing. These cops are out to get us. Bullshit. That's what everybody thinks, man. I'm tired of these calls. That's why I ain't been on them. These people are so freaking negative, gives me freaking rashes. I tell you.
Well,
they are corrupt, man. They don't break into somebody's house and a woman who's disabled, permanently disabled, and shoot her in the back and say that she committed suicide when her husband is in court trying to fight to save his house.
He was fighting.
We know that these people are corrupt, and then they try to cover it up and sweep it under the rug. They're not honorable, Bob. I see no honor in.
I'd like to see that man's paperwork and what he was doing.
He was not only trying to help himself; he was helping a half a dozen other people deal with their credit card debts and trying to save their houses too in an honorable way. The courts weren't observing it.
Was he?
His bonds were being tracked on the stock market. They took his bonds and told him that, oh no, you still owe this money, but they took his payment.
His bonds?
Told him, yeah, his bonds.
You're telling me he's God then, right?
No, he took his financial instruments and they were being traded on the stock market. He was able to track them. So it's not enough that they get paid once with a promissory note. Now, come on now. These people are not honorable, man. They are not honorable.
Who's not honorable? Huh?
These people, these banks and these courts, they're not honorable.
I don't agree.
I certainly do not agree with that. They're not honorable. Where's the honor in that? When you pay them, they take your promissory note. It's like you give them $100,000 and they give it back to you and they call that a loan. You gave them $100,000 and they gave it back to you and they call that a loan. So you're out $100,000, plus you're going to have to pay that $100,000 back, plus 30 years interest.
And who accepted their offer? Huh? Who accepted the offer?
Nobody accepted it. There is no offer on the table because there is no contract. You're the only one that signed the darn thing.
So who's the asshole then?
Well, it's the only way you can buy a house. I mean, what other way are you left to buy one? Go out and work for 30 years and then hope you can save up enough money and go pay cash for one?
No, go lay claim on it. There's nobody in to move in. What's the problem?
The house will it'll never be yours. People ain't going to do that.
It'll never be yours anyway, for Christ's sake.
Well, to go and lay claim on a piece of property that you don't work for, that's dishonorable in most people's eyes when they think they could just move into some house that's vacant and lay claim to it,
well,
and they don't pay anything for it.
Don't the good Christians say it's all been paid for?
Yeah, but that's not the way the society works.
Oh, it is the way it works. The problem is people are greedy. You go in and lay claim to a piece of property, move in there, they call you squatters, they call you names, but you know something? They can't move you. When are people going to wake up?
I don't know. I've never seen anybody do that.
It happens every day of the week.
Where?
All across the world. Heck, squirrels even do it, man. Give me a break, Tim.
They don't move into someone's house.
No. If nobody's in it, how is it someone's house to move into? All we have is a claim to use the property. When you think you own it, and you think you're an occupant, you think you're a tenant, you think you're a homeowner, that's when they get you. But if you're just there using it, they will not touch you.
Well, people aren't familiar with that line of thinking. They think you have to go to work and you make money, and then when you find you got enough money saved for a down payment on a house, you go buy one. But all that whole system is dishonest and corrupt.
Whose fault is that? Huh?
Well, it's obviously the people who are in control.
And who's in control, Tim?
Well, people aren't in control because they're being controlled by the money masters.
Oh, you don't have choices. You're telling me you're a puppet on a string, huh?
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm hoping you think about it.
You're telling me that the masses out there are gonna line up and go out there and claim a piece of property they don't have any ownership in. They're not going to pay anything for it. They're just going to make up a piece of paper and file a claim on it. How many people are going to do that?
Why make up a piece of paper? Why go through all the bullshit? Just go move in it and live there until somebody comes in and says they got a problem with it. And they, well, gee, where were you when I moved in here?
Well, you ain't going to get people to do that. How are they going to have a life and stability for a family by moving in from one house to the next?
Well, you're telling me they got one now? And
well, they don't now.
You're telling me the only reason they're doing it right now, they're abandoning their claim on the property because some freaking artificial entity says, hey, we're foreclosing on you. Come on, Tim. You've been listening to me or not? Or maybe you're not hearing me. I don't know.
Well, you're the one that's sticking up for the courts and the bankers, man. I'm telling you, those people aren't no good. Well,
that's your problem. I don't point my fingers at them. As far as I know, they always treated me with honor, and I can't say what you're saying. That's all.
There's no honor in banks loaning money the way they do, and they aren't even loaning money. You give them $100,000, they give you $100,000 back, and they call that a loan. And then you got to pay them the $100,000, and you're the one that paid it to them. You gave them $100,000. You gave them $100,000. They gave it back to you and called it a loan, and then you got to pay back the $100,000 again. Plus interest.
Hey,
where's the honor in that?
You want remedy, Tim? You want remedy for all this stuff you think this shit these people are doing to you? You want remedy? I'll give you remedy, but you can't handle it. You can't handle the remedy. The remedy is forgiveness. You don't want to forgive anybody. You think they screwed you, and you got a problem. And I don't know who guest number 3 is, but you know something? My anger, I don't have anger. I just speak loud because obviously people don't listen to what I'm saying. If I had anger, I'd just block them out. I don't do that. The point of the matter is everything's here for everyone to use, but not to own. And the problem with the people in this country, they want to own things. And that's the problem. And they can't get over it.
Well, what's wrong with owning something and having a little security in your life?
Security in your life is knowing that it's here for us to use.
Stability, security, to raise a family, to know that your kids are gonna have a roof over their head, not be living out in the street. Stability, security. That's what they want. And the banks screw them.
That's what they want, and the more they want it, the less they get of it. They don't want the best for one another.
They want it, but you got these bankers in these courts screwing them.
There you go, blaming other people.
That's where it's coming from. You think you get any justice going to court? I mean, the common man is going to get justice going to court and hire an attorney and try to save his house. He ain't going to be able to save his house.
Well, the common man, if there was such a thing, wouldn't hire an attorney, and he'd have no problem.
Yeah, but we're talking about the masses. We're not talking about you and me.
Okay,
I know I don't deal like that, and I know you don't. I'm talking about the common man out there.
You got a million freaking excuses why it won't work. The only way it's going to work is when you start working from your inner self and quit blaming everybody else for the condition of the world. Because as long as you're blaming everybody else for the condition of the world, you're just fueling the fire. When you start
absolute power don't corrupt.
Hey, when you start realizing you're the problem, you might have a chance.
So absolute power does not corrupt, absolutely, then I guess is what you believe.
Absolute power. Yeah. Nobody has absolute power. It's an illusion.
Well, they've got that power of illusion.
No, you give it to them.
We don't give them nothing, man. They got it. The bankers and the courts are in bed together, rubbing each other's backs.
Tim, all I can say is, long as you're blaming other people for your situation, your hole's just going to get deeper and deeper. That's all my experience.
Well, I don't see any proof on your end from what you're talking about.
What do you mean? What do I got to prove?
What's the last piece of property you went out and claimed and moved into?
I'm on it. Nobody bothers me.
Yeah, but you paid for it.
I didn't pay for anything. It's
all
all
your wife
paid
did.
for. My wife didn't pay for it. How could she pay for it? There's no money. Come on, Tim, help me out here.
So you stopped making payments.
Heck, I ain't made a payment where I'm at. I don't recall ever making a payment where I'm at.
So you don't have no bill collector or mortgage people coming after you, huh?
Why would they want to do that?
Because you're a squatter.
Oh, is that a crime?
I don't know.
Why don't you look it up, since you know so much about the law? Why don't you look up what a squatter is, what it comes down to? You guys, you're just beating yourselves in the head, man. Stop it. You're hurting yourselves.
I don't see how your logic flows, man. I mean, to think that there's honor in the courts and honor with bankers. There is no honor there.
That's your opinion, Tim. I can't help you there.
I don't think anybody's going to agree with your opinion on that. I mean, there's no honor. You give me all right, Bob, you give me $100,000 and I'll give it back to you and we'll call it a loan. And then you owe me $100,000 and I'm going to charge you interest. Now that's honor and that's honest, huh?
Hey, $100,000. It's all illusions, Tim. Why do you let illusions bother you? One day the people are going to wake up realizing that all this money system that they work with is an illusion.
Well, I know it, but it's an illusion that has you slaving 40 hours a week to give 80% of your paycheck to a bank to an illusion.
Has me? What evidence do you have of that?
That's what people are doing. I'm not saying you. I'm saying the general public out there working and giving 80% of their pay to the goddamn bank every fucking week.
Whose problem is that? These people want to do it.
It's either that or they live on the fucking street.
Well, maybe that's their choice. Why does it bother you so much?
Because I'm giving every bit of my goddamn paycheck to that motherfucking cocksucking bank.
Well,
and you're thinking that I can just lay a claim on it and expect these bankers to lay down and say, oh, we're not going to bother him, he's got a claim on it.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I'm ready to try it. I'm ready to live on the street. I'm ready, Bob.
You already got your ass. Hey, you already beat yourself, Tim. What can I tell you? You're predestined. You already told me how it's going to happen. I don't know what else to tell you. Anybody left on the call?
I don't know.
I didn't block you, Jeff.
I'm still here, but no, I know. I had a phone call come in, and I had to take it, so I muted out.
Oh, no biggie. I just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard message to get to people.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's all in the delivery of the message, and it's a hard thing to get out. And the truth is that most people can't handle the truth.
Oh, they love the truth, but they don't want responsibility for it. That's why the government's there.
And the next thing is that people just don't really realize how much power they have. And
exactly.
if they knew how much power they had, well, what's the book say? If you had the faith of a mustard seed, you could literally move mountains.
My opinion is, if you can stay in honor and love your brother and go out and you don't want to see anybody get damaged and put that out, things will fall in your lap.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
It's something that comes from within, and people have become so hardened by having to deal with the ugly, nasty system that's been put around us.
No, it's not they. They didn't put it around us. We put it around ourselves. It's the illusion.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I agree with you. And it is an illusion. And it's only your illusion if you believe it.
There you go.
And otherwise, and if you believe it, then it becomes real.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know right now, and I've done it before. I can go down the road and I can set up a home anywhere I want to. And
yep.
They won't move me if I know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
They'll honor me. And I'll start building a house on that place if I want to. And I'll put 10 to 1 they won't stop me. I've been through this shit with my dad when he went through it. He thought he had property. Well, guy built something on his property. And guess what? That guy's building's probably still there. And no big deal. You only can claim what you can use. Possession's 9/10 of the law. The rest is bullshit. I mean, get over it. The only way that 1/10 of the law has any credence, like title, the only way it has any credence is if you consent to it. I'm using it, man. You got a problem with it? How can I help you?
It's so hard to make people. Gene, we'll find out with Gene tomorrow. We'll see what happens when he goes into court. See if he believes. If he don't, he'll be back in jail.
It's hard, man. Let go. Don't answer for that name. That's the way we're trained. But I'm telling you, it's that simple.
Yeah.
The government's liable for the name. Balance the account, man. What do you need me for? You want me to sign something? I'll sign it. Just do it. It's not my responsibility. I'm the king. I'm asking, what do you need from me as king, man? It's that simple, people.
Is that simple, and we just don't. We as a people just can't see it. But people are waking up. It's going on. I put that post on there. I Google email. Even the courts are starting to jump in on the people's side over these foreclosure issues. This thing I posted on there now is getting ready to be a big fucking deal. Big deal.
It's a simple claim. I'm using the property, man. Who's got a superior claim? That's all it really comes down to. You go into that courtroom and ask the attorney for the bank that. I mean, I'm using it. The bank, Mr. Bank of America, he wants this property. Where is he? How come he wasn't there when I moved on it? That's all you got to ask him. And it's gone. I hope you're listening, Tim. You let him get you all scared and get over it. I'm on the property. Spirit claim. Going to court there. I'm here for that matter. There's a mistake. Get that Bank of America's attorney up right there. Bring him up. You got a claim here, man? Where was you when I moved on the property? Nobody objected then. Why are you objecting now? It's that simple. Heck with the mortgage and all the bullshit paperwork. The judge wants to hear your testimony. He wants to hear it from your mouth. He'll never sign a freaking order to move you off that property. Well, the donuts are getting pretty expensive, so I'll put 10 to 1 on it. It was, Yeah. Get over it, man. It's all your testimony, all that matters, and it's paperwork's nothing to do with it. First-hand knowledge. That judge needs first-hand knowledge. Give it to him. Give him what he needs. He'll go on to the how did they used to say it there? The preponderance of the evidence. And I'll tell you right now, that attorney for the bank ain't gonna say fucking boo. Get over to fair. If you're worried about not having a place, go down to Walmart and buy a fucking tent. You can put a tent almost anywhere, and you got a place to stay. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but it might help you get over the fear of losing what you think you got. When you don't got it, all you got it is to use. You ain't gonna take it with you. You know, it's fun to have, but man, if it owns you, makes you angry, then what the fuck you want it for anyway? You might be better off without that place. Who knows? You know? Just think about it. Makes you angry. Who needs it, man? Please, somebody tell me I'm wrong.
Well, if it's got you enslaved, then you've enslaved yourself.
Yep. Because
Tim was talking about how it troubles him so that he's working 40 hours a week and they're taking 80% of it to pay his mortgage and yada, yada, yada. Well, if you're tired of it, quit and go about seeking a solution instead of letting it continue to be a liability to you.
Right. If it was that bad with me, here's what I would do. I would go down to the bank with a notice to one of their agents, and I'd read it to them, giving the agent first-hand knowledge that say, hey, give me who's got a claim to this property to use it? That's what I want to know, you know? That's all. Something simple.
Yeah.
And see where it goes. Before it gets into trouble where it gets into court. You might find out all of a sudden the account's zeroed with a simple fucking question. You got claim to use this property or not? I mean, I don't know. Have you tried it? That's the question. You know?
Well, there was a show on the other day I was listening to, and they were talking about that exact thing. Then when they take you to court, or if you go into court on your foreclosure, you've already got the evidence in your hand that they've admitted to not having a claim against it.
There you go.
You know, they call it these words like administrative process and this, that, and the other, but it is a process in a way. It's asking them, it's going to them and telling them.
Right.
If you've got it, state your claim if you've got one, and if not, then I'm not giving you no more of my money.
There you go. And it ain't even money, but you know, it's something we trade our substance for with things we do. We get these Federal Reserve notes, and we'd like to keep them so we can live, you know, be in commerce. But the point of the matter is, where's this artificial entity got a claim on this property to use it? We're going in there and saying we want to own it, and that's why we got a problem. You don't own it. You're using it. If you owned it, when you died, it'd go with you.
Yeah.
Like this body. You don't own it. That's why, you know, you go in there. When you recognize the name, you just created a controversy. Your body is surety. There's minerals and stuff in here. It's worth something to somebody. So there's the surety. The prosecuting attorney never puts up surety because you go in there and you claim the name that he has a claim to. So you're making a claim. You don't realize it. It's all in the mirror. But when you make that claim of the name, now somebody's got to put up surety, and that's your body. It's that simple, man. Think about it.
It creates a controversy because they're claiming that they've got the rights to the title, and you're claiming you've got the rights to the title. Now you've got a controversy, and we can't have no controversies.
And who created it?
They created the name.
Yeah, but who created the controversy?
You created the controversy by
claiming the name.
putting a claim on a title that you don't have right to.
Exactly. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right.
And it works both ways, man. I know what I know now. I could take a prosecuting attorney, and they'll be sweating their freaking balls off, hoping they don't go to prison for being insurrection against the United States.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't want to do that to anybody. I've been through it. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. The point of the matter, are you forgiving or you want vengeance? You want vengeance, buddy. You're going to be on the losing end. It ain't going to happen. They'll take care of themselves. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Let it happen. All you got to do is ask the right questions. That's all you got to do. Taken care of.
Their easiest way to get a remedy from the whole thing so that they don't get caught is just write you a check. That'd be the quickest way to balance the account.
Who needs to check? Whatever. The point
it's not gonna happen, but that would be their quickest way out.
You don't know that. They'll balance the books. They don't need to write a check. All they got to do is punch in a few numbers in their computers and say, leave this one alone, man. This guy knows he's a peaceful inhabitant. Leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah, the problem they've got is that you're the creator of that note, and they owe you.
They don't owe you anything, man. The point of it
sure
is,
they do. They owe you when you created the funds. Oh, just observe it. It's not like look at it. You within their contract, you created those funds. They owe you.
Oh, bull! Get over that.
What do you mean? Get over it? Is it not true?
You didn't create. I don't know if it's true or not. My point is.
Well, wait a minute now. It's either true or it's not. When you signed your name there, it either created the funds or it didn't.
You mean you're contributing to the illusion?
I'm not contributing to any of it. It's real if they believe it.
You there?
See, at this point in time that we're talking about, all this shit's already happened because you're in the middle of a foreclosure or whatever.
Yep.
See, so you can't go back and take any of it away. So I'm saying that's their real out is to write you a check because you created the funds.
No.
Now whether you should be getting involved in any of that shit in the first place is a whole different story.
The reason why they write you a check is to keep the illusion going. All right. Other than that, you're just part of creation. It's all here for us to use and deal with. But if you're gonna, you think you got funds coming to you, well, you're on the wrong end of the stick, in my opinion.
Hang on just a second. I just got a Skype. I got to go for just a second here. I'm just gonna mute out for just a second. Hang on.
All right. Play a song. Well, I can't play a song now. I got to figure out how so I don't get the echoes back there. Hung around long. Still there, Dr. Herb?
Yep.
I don't mean to be a dick or bust your balls. It's just until we stop blaming other people, in my opinion, we're not going to find the answers.
Oh, these people don't blame other people. They blame themselves. Oh, I lost my job, or Obama, there's not enough jobs here, so the politicians sent all our jobs over there. Whose fault is that? Yeah, it's my fault that the politicians sent all the good-paying jobs down to Mexico over to China. That's my fault.
That's so.
So no, people don't have enough money to go out and make their own way. That's my fault.
Man, you go out and make your way. You don't need a job to do that. A job is...
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the general public, man.
Well, that ain't your concern, is it? Who cares what they think?
Well, it's going to be a concern to you if they start knocking on your door and taking... If you got some food, they're going to take it from you. I guess you're just going to give it to them, so sure, take it.
Yeah, if I got enough,
Take all I have. Come to Bob. He's got enough.
I don't see why not. If I got enough, I ain't worried about that.
Well, they'll take it all. You won't have any.
I think people are smarter than that. When they realize that the jobs ain't the way to go, they're going to go out and get what they need, and they're going to make it. But maybe you don't have as much faith in people as I do. I don't know what to tell you. Gotta try something different here. I wonder if I called in on talk show. You think it's